day 16, and today I'm talking about, should I exercise in a fasted state? Doesn't fasting break down muscle? And should women even be fasting over 40 anyway? There is a lot of controversy out there. And so I just thought that I will jump on and share my view from what I've listened to, what I've learned from Dr. Mindy, and what I am implementing myself. And actually, I just want to say at this point, you need to decide and experiment and find what works for you. Because what works for me and what works for my friend and what works for you will be completely different. Do I exercise in a fasted state? Absolutely, I do. I have never ever been able to eat before I exercise. But yet I've got friends who will never ever go and do exercise without eating. They will always have a banana or they'll always have breakfast. I get the stitch. And so when I used to run a lot, I used to get the stitch, and so I've never ever eaten, and I can easily exercise on no food. But that's what works for me. But so you need to find out, because what works for me will be completely different to what works for you and for your friend or my friend. And your friend might get amazing results, and you go and do exactly the same. You're like, but I'm not getting the results. That's because we are so uniquely individual, and our hormonal profile is so different, uniquely individual as well. So you might experiment with eating before you exercise and see if that, I feel like I've got a frog in my throat, and see if that works for you. And then, or, if you are fasting, then you don't exercise. Now, one thing that I make sure that I do, especially when I have done a strength training workout, and I've mentioned it in other videos, I always make sure I break my fast after I come back, because yes, exercise and fasting can break down muscle, and exercise, especially strength training, can break down muscle. And if you don't refuel with protein, then you absolutely will lose muscle and break it down. Whereas if you are really strategic, and when you come back from exercising, you have at least 30 grams of protein, and I don't know the time difference. Some people say 30 grams are within 30 minutes. I kind of try and do it within the hour. And that will rebuild the muscle. And so that's really, really important. In terms of women over 40 shouldn't be fasting, I know that there are podcasts out there where, and especially you may have listened to Dr. Stacey Sims, and she's amazing and she does some great work, and she's not for women in fasting necessarily. And so then Dr. Mindy, who I've certified under, she's all for women fasting. And the main difference that I see between these two women is that Dr. Stacey Sims works with quite high level athletes. For women who are doing a lot of exercise and they are wanting to build muscle and are probably in a body that they're really happy with. Whereas with Dr. Mindy and the clients that I work with, women are really struggling with their hormones. They are carrying a lot of extra weight, and they have got no answer or no solution on how they can get rid of that weight. And they are just feeling really down and challenged and lacking a community. And so that's where Dr. Mindy's work and the work that I'm doing comes in. I'm giving women an option or an alternative, a solution that will give them hope and give them results. Because fasting 100% gives results, and it's actually really quick. So it gives momentum, and then you get the motivation. Because if you think about it, we go to the gym and we might lose a couple of kgs, but then it takes forever to lose it, and then we lose motivation and we can't stick at it. Fasting gives you results really quickly as long as you're doing it strategically, and therefore you get the motivation to keep going. I've lost count of the amount of women in my membership who have messaged me and said, I've lost 5 kgs, I've lost 4 kgs, I've lost like 7 kgs. And I'm like, that is incredible, because that's what their goal was. Once they get to their weight, then they can look at building muscle. It actually is very strategic. And so if you are at a weight that you're happy with and you're wanting to build muscle, then going strength training and eating loads of protein is where it's at for you. But as I say, for the women that I'm working with, and this might be you, if you want to lose the weight and you're wanting to get your hormones in balance and you're just wanting to feel better and have some hope, that's where fasting is an absolute game changer. It's the mental clarity. It is the stabilizing of the moods. There's so many healing benefits that come with fasting. So I actually just wanted to jump on and do a video around that so that you can see where, where I have landed. So absolutely, I'm an avid faster. I exercise in a fasted state, but I always come home, especially after strength training, then I power up on protein to make sure that I'm rebuilding that muscle. So if you've got any questions about that, just comment below and I'm more than happy to answer. If you found this video valuable, please like, comment and share. That would be really, really appreciative. And I will see you tomorrow. See ya.